John Vervaeke said, like, we need Socrates Christianity or something, where he's like, well, we make like the more important part Socrates over the Christianity, like Socrates could subsume Christianity in some sense, and like well, yeah, like don't you see that as a corruption?
Jesus already conquered Socrates. I'm not worried when people try to go the other way around. Jesus totally, I mean, ask Nietzsche. Jesus totally owned Plato. I mean, the Christianity has been the best thing that's happened to Platonism ever. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Jesus' ability to colonize. He's the greatest colonizer that the human race has ever known. So when someone says something like that, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't feel the need to draw attention to it at that moment, partly because we have to deal with idolatry in different ways. And to always have to point it out or call it out whenever something strikes you as idolatrous, you would never get around to doing anything else but call out idolatry. So there's a time and a place for everything, and wisdom is knowing when to do what. And so, yeah, Socrates, I mean, here's the thing about Jesus. Muhammad doesn't say he's the son of God. Socrates doesn't say he's the culmination of the world. In some ways, part of the problem of lining up Jesus with Socrates and the Buddha or anything is, as C.S. Lewis pointed out, they all said very different things about each other. And at some point, you're going to have to deal with, Lewis, of course, famously put it in his trilemma. At some point, you're going to have to deal with the man who stood on top of a mountain at the end of the Gospel of Matthew and said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Buddha didn't say anything like that. Socrates didn't say anything like that. Muhammad didn't say anything like that. Confucius didn't. When people talk like that, we usually lock them up. Or we completely ignore them and ask them to move their shopping cart out of the way. Jesus said that, and yet he's continually on this list of great human beings. And so that's just a reality. Remember when the Taliban blew up those big Buddhas on the Silk Road because they were idols? I don't feel the need in a conversation to blow up. I don't feel the need in a conversation to act like the Taliban. Jesus, when you read how Jesus dealt with people, he can be very subtle and very crafty. And he tells us to do the same.
Yeah, that sounds like a good place to get to an end. Thank you a lot for being my guest, Paul. And I hope everybody to see you again soon on my channel, Agapic Orientation.
Thank you for having me. I still have to look up your talk with Catherine and Father Eric. I'm looking forward to watching those.